नन्दलीलामयविग्रहाय हेमाभृथिव्यै छविसुन्दराय तस्मै महाप्रेमरसप्रदाय चैतन्यचन्द्राय नमो नमस्ते। चैतन्यचन्द्राय नमो नमस्ते। चैतन्यचन्द्राय नमो नमस्ते। जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद। जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौरभक्त वृंद। जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद। जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौरभक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। So yesterday we were reading here. Generally, people come into the association of devotees to mitigate some material wants. But the influence of a pure devotee frees a man from all material desires by enabling him to relish the taste of devotional service. Devotional service is so nice and so pure that it purifies the devotee, and he forgets all material ambitions as soon as he engages fully in the transcendental loving service of Krishna. A practical example is Dhruva Maharaj, who wanted something material from Lord Krishna, and therefore he engaged in devotional service. When the Lord approached before Dhruva Maharaj as a four-handed Vishnu form, Dhruva told him, "My dear Lord, because I engaged in your devotional service with great austerity and penances, I am now seeing you, whom even the great demigods and sages have difficulty seeing. Now I am pleased, and all my desires are satisfied. I do not want anything else. I was searching for some broken glass, but instead I have found a great and valuable gem." Thus, Dhruva Maharaj expressed his full satisfaction and refused to ask anything from the Lord. So, this is a very, very beautiful pastime. Dhruva was just a 5-year-old kid actually, and his father Uttanapad, Maharaj Uttanapad, he had two wives. One was Suniti and Suruchi. Now, both the wives had uh, these had sons, and both the sons were small. They were both so Dhruva was 5 years old, and the other son was even younger to him. Now, both the wives of this king, they uh, they were they were dear to the king, but one of the queens was more dear to the king. So once this queen's son, Suruchi's son, was sitting on the lap of his father, and his father was cuddling him and loving him. So at that time, Dhruva Maharaj comes and he sees that his younger brother is sitting on the lap of his father. And he felt very happy. He was very happy that, oh, it is looking so nice. Let me also go and sit with my father, with my brother, and let me also enjoy this affection of my father. So he ran to his father, and at that time, Suruchi, the other wife, so whose son was sitting on the lap of the king, she came and she chastised Dhruva. She stopped Dhruva. She said, "Dhruva, you have no right to sit on the lap of your father." Now, Dhruva is only 5 years old kid, little one. He's thinking, why? Why am I not allowed to sit on the lap of my own father? So Suruchi says that you don't have a right because you are not born from my womb, because I did not give you birth. And because I did not give you birth, so you are not dear to your father. So, if you really want to sit on the lap of your father, you should go and do austerities and penances, and you should pray to Lord Vishnu. And when he is pleased with your austerities and penances, then Lord Vishnu, when he comes and asks you, okay, what boon do you want? Dhruva, tell me. Then you should tell him that, yes, next birth, please give me Suruchi, Mother Suruchi, as my own mother, so that I can sit on the lap of my father. Now just imagine, for a 5-year-old kid, this is like something completely. What is this? Do austerities and penances, pray to Lord Vishnu, ask for boon that next birth I become the child of Suruchi mother and then take sit on the lap of my father. But now Dhruva was actually a Kshatriya. He was the son of a Kshatriya, and he also had all the qualities of a Kshatriya. He's not some like ordinary 5-year-old child that, okay, somebody has scolded, chastised. If not today, tomorrow I will sit on the lap of my father. Otherwise, I will secretly go and sit on the lap of my father. He did not think of all these things. He just went running to his mother. And his mother, who is a very chaste woman, very, very chaste wife, and a very, very wonderful mother, she did not she did not poison his mind saying that, yeah, that lady is like that only. She did not say such things. Instead, she said that, yes, she's right. Lord Vishnu can fulfill any desire. So she's not wrong when she said that Lord Vishnu can fulfill your desire to sit on your father's lap. And it is true that I am not very dear to your father. I am less dear to your father. So, therefore, because of me, because you took birth from my womb, you did not get this opportunity. So, his mother, Dhruva's mother, she also gave him that, she also told him that, yes, Dhruva, you pray to Lord Vishnu. Now, as a mother, she did not know that Dhruva, even as a 5-year-old child, was very determined, and the Kshatriya quality that I am now going to achieve this. That quality is so inbuilt, engraved in him, inbuilt in him. She did not think anything what is going to happen next. So while she was resting, Dhruva, he leaves the house and he goes to the jungle and goes and starts searching for where is Lord Vishnu. He doesn't know who is Lord Vishnu and how he looks and where is Lord Vishnu residing. He doesn't know any of these things. He just heard from his mother that, yes, Lord Vishnu can fulfill the desires. He just asked, okay, where should I find Lord Vishnu? His mother said that, see, he stays in Madhuvan. In the scriptures I've read that he's in Madhuvan. He stays in this forest. So you have to search for him over there. So Dhruva just goes out of the palace and just starts walking out of the gate of the palace, and then he goes to the forest, and every tree, every bird, every animal he's seeing, he's asking that, do you know where is Lord Vishnu, where is Lord Vishnu, like that he's finding. Now Lord Vishnu is seated in everyone's heart as Paramatma. Lord Vishnu is Krishna only, and Lord Krishna is seated in everyone's heart as Paramatma. So when Lord Vishnu sees that this little child has come out in search of me, Lord Vishnu, he sends his dear, dear devotee. I want to ask, who is this dear devotee that Lord Vishnu sends to Dhruva?
Narayan.
Yeah, Narayan is Lord Vishnu only.
Uh, Narad Muni, I mean.
Yeah. I also thought you said Narad. Yes. Yes, sorry, bol. So Narad Muni. Narad Muni is the spiritual master of if you see anybody that Narad Muni comes across, or anyone who sees Narad Muni attains Vaikuntha, because that is the power of a pure devotee. Here, the first line itself says that when somebody comes in association of a pure devotee, what happens? They start getting the taste. They relish the taste of devotional service, and therefore, all this chota mota chintu pintu, all these material desires are not. They don't attract the devotee anymore. That who wants this? This is nothing in front of what I am already tasting. So Narad Muni, he sends Narad Muni that you go, that little child, he's looking for me, searching for me in the forest. You go and tell him to go back to the palace. Narad Muni says, okay. So Narad Muni comes, sees Dhruva, and then Narad Muni says that, oh, okay, Dhruva, what are you doing here? This is a forest. And in the forest, there are wild animals and snakes and beasts. And, why are you alone here? You are just a 5-year-old kid. So Dhruva Maharaj says that, no, see, I've come to find Lord Vishnu because my mother said that if I pray to Lord Vishnu, then he can satisfy my desire, and I have some important agenda. So you please, if you can help me, please tell me where I can find Lord Vishnu. Narad Muni tries to convince him. Okay, Narad Muni, he also is a pure devotee. He knows everything. He's Trikal Gyani. He knows everything, but still, he tests the determination of this child, and he says that Dhruva, see, right now you're 5 years old. You're 5 years old. Okay, when you are 10 years old, then you do all these things. Dhruva says, no. If you can't help me, then please don't disturb me. I have to find Lord Vishnu. I have a very important thing to ask from him. So Narad Muni says, okay, then let me help you. And then Narad Muni guides him. Narad Muni tells him that, okay, this first 6 months, you have to do so and so thing. You have to drink the water from Yamuna, and you have to say this mantra, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, like that. And you can eat fruits and berries that are there on the trees. Then the next 1 month, you have to do this, and then the next 1 month you should do this. Like that, he guides him. So what is this? This is since he came with a material desire. So what Narad Muni does is he teaches him the different yogas. So there is Dhyan Yoga, there is a Jnana Yoga. So he teaches him Dhyan Yoga, and then from the yoga, from this beginning with the controlling of the senses, all these things leading ultimately with the mantra. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya is this mantra is Narad Muni has initiated him. He's given him the mantra already. And this mantra is going to lead him to that is a spiritual practice. So, along with the controlling of the senses and everything, this spiritual practice is going to go on. So, ultimately, Dhruva, being a 5-year-old child, can we imagine that for a 5-year-old child doing this kind of an austerity and penance in the middle of the forest and just accepting the words of his spiritual master as it is? He did not think that, okay, Narad Muni said 6 months, let me do it only 3 months, and then I will do something else. He did not do all these things. He took the instruction as it is and he sincerely followed it. Whatever as Narad Muni said, because he had firm faith that this person knows how I can get to Lord Vishnu. He started with a material ambition, undoubtedly. But whenever somebody comes in touch with a pure devotee, what happens? All the material desires are completely satisfied. They are no more there. They are burnt to ashes. Because material desire will only lead to suffering, will only lead to hankering, lust, anger, greed, envy, and just more and more suffering, and will take us deep down into the hellish planets. Nothing else. Nothing else. Because this material world is like that. That is the quality of this material world. But in touch, in association of a pure devotee, all this is burned. And what happened to Dhruva Maharaj? He was completely satisfied. And then in the last month, in when he was chanting, when he was standing on just one foot, and he was fully controlling his breath, and he was taking a breath once, um, once in a day or once in a week, I forgot, but whatever it is. So that control came, and he was constantly totally focused on seeing Lord Vishnu, the four-handed form of Lord Krishna. He was seeing that darshan in within his heart. He could see, and he was so pleased, he was so satisfied that there was no end to his to the bliss that he was experiencing. And when he was experiencing such a bliss, he even stopped breathing. And what happened was, because he was doing such a severe penance and austerity, he was holding the air for the entire universe, and therefore all the animals and living beings and everybody could not breathe properly. Not just that, even the devatas, the demigods, were also shaken that, oh, what is happening, what is happening? So whenever something happens, the demigods, they rush to Brahma, Brahma rushes to Lord Vishnu. That is the system. Guru Parampara. This is Guru Parampara. So the demigods go to Brahma, Lord Brahma, and then Lord Brahma approaches Lord Vishnu. So Lord Vishnu says, yes, he is my devotee. He is my devotee and he is waiting for me, and I shall go and give him my Sakshat darshan. So when Lord Vishnu comes and stands in front of Dhruva, what happens is suddenly Dhruva, who was able to see Lord Vishnu within his heart, and his eyes were closed and fully absorbed in meditation, and he was just relishing that darshan. Suddenly within his heart, that darshan disappears. And Dhruva starts searching within himself, eyes closed, and he's thinking, what happened, what happened, what happened? So Lord Vishnu, who is standing in front of him, that same Vishnu who he was seeing inside, that same Vishnu is now standing outside and calls out to him that Dhruva, now you can open your eyes because I'm standing right in front of you. So when Dhruva Maharaj sees Lord Vishnu, he is completely dumbstruck. Now, what can a 5-year-old child even speak? He doesn't know any prayers. Firstly, he never knew who Lord Vishnu is. He never knew how Lord Vishnu looked. And he never knew any prayers. He was a Kshatriya child and he was playing in his palace, and suddenly one day this happened and he came to the forest and I want this, I have an agenda, I have to meet Lord Vishnu. Why am I not allowed to sit on my father's lap? So, and what was his desire? His desire actually was that he wants a kingdom which is far more greater than not only his father, but his grandfather and everyone who is there in his lineage. He's from Lord Brahma's lineage. He's from Brahma's lineage. And he wanted a kingdom which is far more bigger, greater than Lord Brahma also. Why? Because he wanted to show that he is a Kshatriya. How is he denied? Just because his position is low, therefore he was denied to sit on the lap of his father, and therefore he took this this thing that now I want a kingdom so great that everybody will come and fall at my feet. I will have the right to decide where I want to sit, and like that. That was his material. He was burning with ambition. But as soon as he got darshan of Vishnu, Lord Vishnu within his heart, he was completely satisfied. He forgot all that and unaffected. And as soon as he opened his eyes and saw Lord Vishnu, now he doesn't know what to say. How should I, stuti, we say stuti, how do I glorify my Lord? How do I glorify you? He doesn't know. So Lord Vishnu, understanding the desire of Dhruva, he comes and he touches his conch on the head of Dhruva. And as soon as Lord Vishnu's conch touches the head of Dhruva Maharaj, he was Dhruva at that time, immediately he starts reciting verses after verses in glorification of the Supreme Lord. He starts praying to the Supreme Lord with beautiful prayers. And then with that, Lord Vishnu is even more pleased. Lord Vishnu feels very, very pleased. Actually, even in the material world, if somebody appreciates us, if somebody tells me or tells any of us that, oh, today your this dress is so nice, or you're looking so nice today, or if somebody says that you gave such a nice class, or you sang so well, anything, so when somebody says that, we feel happy, right? Is there anybody who feels sad and dejected when somebody appreciates us? If there is anybody. Oh, I thought Quayle was raising her hand. Okay, no. All right. So there is no one like that. Nobody feels sad. Everybody feels pleased. Where is this coming from? The source is Lord Krishna. And Krishna enjoys when somebody glorifies him. Krishna is like that only. Krishna enjoys when somebody is glorifying Krishna. So, um, so when Dhruva started doing these stutis, these prayers, Lord Vishnu was so pleased. And then when he stops doing his prayers and stutis, Lord Vishnu asks Dhruva that, my dear Dhruva, I am very pleased with uh, your devotional service, your austerities, your penances, your prayers, and the way you have glorified me. I'm very pleased with everything, and I'm very pleased with you. So now please ask me what you desire. So Dhruva says that yes, I had a material ambition, I had material desires, but now that I am seeing you face to face, my Lord, I'm completely satisfied. I have nothing more to ask because I have no other ambition. I just want this darshan, what I'm seeing right now, this scene, this vision that I'm experiencing now, this bliss. I just want that every moment. I don't want anything else because this is something very durlabh. See, even here it is mentioned that I'm seeing you now, but even great demigods and sages have difficulty seeing. because the demigods cannot directly go to Vishnu. Lord Vishnu, they cannot go directly. They approach Lord Brahma. Brahma goes to Lord Vishnu. So even the demigods, unless Lord Vishnu summons them, that okay, you come, they don't have the permission. It is that Durlab. And this 5-year-old kid, Dhruva, he is seeing Lord Vishnu face to face. Not just seeing, Lord Vishnu is speaking to him. Lord Vishnu himself is saying that I am very pleased. What else can somebody want? Vishnu is pleased, then what is left after that? Because when Vishnu is pleased, when Lord Vishnu is pleased, who is seated in our heart as Paramatma, we are also completely satisfied. We will not feel any kind of need that I have any other need. Everything will be satisfied. Dhruva was experiencing that. But now Lord Vishnu says that no, Dhruva, you have to ask something. Dhruva says, I don't want to ask anything. I'm fully satisfied. But Lord Vishnu says, but still, I have come. I want to give you something. You must ask something. So that is going on. Lord Vishnu is saying, ask. Dhruva is saying, no, 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 I don't want anything. See, I had come in search of broken glass. Okay, broken glass, what will happen? As soon as you pick up the broken glass, you will, it will cut your finger. It is going to pinch and it's going to cut your finger and blood is going to come out. What is happening? We are getting only suffering. But we think, oh, wow, this is looking so nice. Little kids, if they see some glass and something shining, they will run after it. And as soon as they pick up, they are going to get hurt and they have to cry for that. Material desire is like that. But Dhruva is saying that instead of that broken glass, now I have found a great and valuable gem. Imagine, these days, valuable gems, real gems are not even available. But anyway, just imagine that somebody finds a real ruby, okay, a huge, real ruby, or a real sapphire, or a real diamond, or I don't know, all those gems. So people would be like, instead of that broken glass, this gem has so much value, it is invaluable. So Dhruva Maharaj is saying that instead of this, I have found this valuable gem, this great valuable gem. And now I don't desire those broken glass anymore. But Lord Vishnu says that no, because now I'm very pleased with you and I know what desire you had, I will fulfill that desire. So Lord Vishnu fulfills the desire also. Dhruva Maharaj, although he did not want, he just got it as bonus. So similarly, when somebody is a sincere devotee, is a pure devotee of Lord Krishna, they actually don't need to ask anything. Lord Krishna just keeps supplying and arranging and supporting everything that the pure devotee may need. Pure devotee is never in need of anything. Pure devotee never thinks that, oh, today I don't have this, I wish I had that. He never thinks. And even if that thought comes in the mind of a pure devotee, Lord Krishna fulfills that desire. That is because that is how dear the pure devotees are to Lord Krishna, because they have given their life and soul for Krishna. Krishna has also given his life and soul for these pure devotees. So that is how Dhruva Maharaj expressed his full satisfaction and he refused to ask anything from the Lord. Nonetheless, he got Dhruva Lok. Lord Vishnu said that in this world you are going to rule after your father retires. Very soon your father will retire from um, his kingship. You will become the king. You will rule here for so many years, some thousands of years. And after you have ruled here, you will have a special planet for yourself, the Dhruva Lok. A special planet for yourself, which nobody has got. And you will eternally, you are going to be the king there. You will rule there. So this is what Dhruva Maharaj got, that 5-year-old kid. The living entity, okay, today we have gone beyond our time. So, Krishna willing, what happens next and what Mahaprabhu says next, we'll see tomorrow. We'll pause here for today. Thank you very much, dear devotees, for a very, very wonderful association. In your association, you inspired me to speak what I may have not planned to speak. So, thank you. Vancha kalpatrubhyascha kripa sindhubhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Anantakoti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Oh, I remembered. I
Right.
think Kweli, you had a question. So can we take it tomorrow? Remind me before the class, as in the class in the beginning. Okay. So Shila Jai Pataka Swami Guru Maharaj ki jai. जगतगुरु श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल।
क्षमाकरण
नित्यानंद
की
गौरांग
जय।
कुटी भक्त वृंद की
हरि बोल।
जय।
जय।
जय।